Recall in our previous video instruction that mitochondrion is considered to be the powerhouse of the cell because it can generate high amount of energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate or ATP, which is considered to be needed by the cell in order to perform its vital function. So, in connection with the concept of energy, another organelle that is associated with the concept of energy is the chloroplast. Okay? So take note, chloroplast is a cell organelle that can be found only among plants. Okay? So meaning to say plant cells and other species of bacteria consist of chloroplast. So therefore, chloroplast cannot be found among animal cells. Okay? So for the first information, chloroplast, okay, they cannot be found among animal cells, but instead, chloroplast can be found among plant cells and other species of bacteria that can perform photosynthesis. Okay? So, in addition to that, it was stated that chloroplast is said to be the solar energy plants. So, it can be compared to the solar energy plants that can be found within a particular city. So from the name itself, it is the solar energy plants. From the name solar, it means that it is the organelle of the cell that can capture the light energy coming from the sun. Okay, that's why we use the term solar. You are pertaining to the sun. And we know very well that sun is the ultimate source of energy in our planet. So in addition to that, chloroplast will use the energy coming from the sun in order to produce the food molecules. And primarily, it is C6H12O6, which is the food molecule. So food molecules can be produced through the use of the energy coming from the sun in the process known as photosynthesis. Hence, the major function of the chloroplast is that it is the site of photosynthesis. In contrast, mitochondrion is the site of cellular respiration. Okay? So, the site of photosynthesis among plant cells will be the chloroplast. As you notice in our presentation, it is green in color because it consists of the pigment known as the chlorophyll. So you are very familiar with this concept because you encountered this already in your previous science subjects. Okay? So chlorophyll is the green pigment of the plant and it is present among the chloroplasts. So this is the structure of the chloroplast. So in addition to that, chloroplast, it is one of the examples of plastids. So plastids, these are organelles that consist of pigments. So whenever say pigments, these are samples of matter that can absorb light, or let's say light energy coming from the sun. Okay? So these are organelles that consist of pigments, and these are the plastids. So pigments, these are samples of matter that can absorb light. So this is an example of a plastid. So take note, chloroplast is just a specific example of a plastid. And take note, class, that plastid can be categorized into two. Okay, so for the first term, we have the term plastid. It is subdivided into two. The first one will be the colored plastids. So you have colored plastids. And then you have the next one, colorless plastids. Okay. So colored plastids are known as the chromoplast. Okay. From the Greek prefix chroma, which means color. And then colorless plastids will be known as leucoplast. Okay, from the Greek word leuco, which means white. Okay, it is colorless. So leucoplasts are the colorless plastids. On the other hand, chromoplasts are the colored plastids. So colored plastids can be divided into two. We have photosynthetic and you have non-photosynthetic. On the other hand, colorless plastids or leucoplasts, they are non-photosynthetic. So you are very familiar with the prefix non, meaning to say non-photosynthetic pigments, they are not involved in photosynthesis. Okay? So this will be the flow chart that we need to understand. That plastids can be categorized into two. We have colored plastids known as chromoplast and colorless plastids known as the leucoplast. And each category can be divided further into two. We have photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic. Since chloroplast consists of colored pigments known as chlorophyll, then we can say that chloroplast is an example of chromoplast since it is a colored plastid. Specifically, it is green in color. Okay? So, what are the examples of chromoplasts that are photosynthetic in nature? Okay? So, we have the following. The chloroplast, okay, which is the green plastid. So, you have the chloroplast. Okay, and then the next one, the red pigment, okay, or let's say the plastids that are red in color are known as the rheodoplast. And then the next one will be known as the phaeoplast, okay, which is yellow in color. So let's try to put some labels for the following. Chromoplasts, they are chromoplasts, take note, because they are colored. We have green, red, and yellow. Hence, they fall under the category of chromoplasts. And then, they are examples of photosynthetic chromoplasts. So, the first one is chloroplast. Okay, which is the green plastid. Okay, the red plastid is known as rheodoplast. So rheodoplast can be found among red algae. Hence, we use the term rheodoplast because it consists of red plastids. And then on the other hand, we have the yellow plastids known as the phaeoplast. So phaeoplasts, these are plastids that are yellow in color. So all of these are photosynthetic chromoplasts, meaning to say all of them are involved in the process of photosynthesis. On the other hand, we have a chromoplasts that are considered to be non-photosynthetic. Okay, so what are the examples of non-photosynthetic chromoplasts? You have the pigments or the plastids that are orange and yellow in color, known as the carotenoids. So carotenoids are not involved in the process of photosynthesis. Hence, they are classified as chromoplasts, but they are non-photosynthetic. And then another plastids that are responsible for red, blue, and violet pigments among plants like this will be known as the anthocyanins. So you have anthocyanins. So anthocyanins are colored plastids or colored, let's say, pigments that are non-photosynthetic. And they are responsible for the red, blue, violet, and pink colors of the plant. And usually, their main purpose is for pollination, since vibrant colors can attract more pollinators like insects and birds. So that will be the chromoplast under photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic.